Morning everyone, dobre ráno. Okay, hello, my name is Luka Manojlovic, I'm coming from Slovenia, and today I will talk about some storage and networking stuff that is coming with new server, Windows Server 2012. And I would like to ask you how many of you have tried any of these new features? Anyone with storage spaces, storage pools? Okay. Anyone with deduplication on Windows Server? Oh, super. Okay, how many of you have tried a silent file system, a new file system that comes with the server? Have you saw that you can format your volumes with resilient file system? Okay, all presentations and all additional links that I have prepared for you can be found on this address. Just a second, I will start zoom it. So I created a short URL I found yesterday, Slovakian shortener. So you have here all documentation and all additional links, and also if you will have some questions that I would not be able to answer, I will try to find out the answers and I will put it on this URL. So if you will remember or take a picture of this one or somehow bookmark it, you will find this presentation on it and some additional links. It will redirect you to SkyDrive, and there you have one Word document and one PowerPoint, so you can get there. Okay, Microsoft has improved a lot of things in storage discussion in the server. So we have a lot of new features here. Some of them are version 1, for example, resilient file system. It has a lot of things that will be done in the future by Microsoft, so you should expect new features coming in the future. Okay, storage pools is another great idea, I think, that is incorporated in Windows Server. It is not a feature or role, it is a part of operating system, so you cannot uninstall storage spaces. They are there and you can use them out of the box. For example, if you are using Hyper-V server, you know Hyper-V, the free version of hypervisor without GUI, you have storage pools also inside Hyper-V server. And why I'm mentioning this, because have you heard of cluster in a box solutions? 2 nodes, same storage in one box. Well, a lot of vendors are coming with these new products in near future. Some products are already available. I will show you just some slide about, for example, today in the morning I was searching a bit around the internet, and I found Fujitsu solutions, but also HP, Dell, and other vendors have these solutions that are coming out. So this is, I think, the mutant from a mutation from what was the hit of 2005? Blade systems, you know. Blade systems are out, and cluster in a box systems are coming. And storage spaces or storage pools are the thing that will be really useful in these scenarios. I will show you how. Okay, deduplication. I'm using deduplication in production. I have one company that is working on designs and photos and stuff. And whatever disk we put in those servers, there is never enough space for those people. They are always at 80–90%. And also now they are in reality at 85%, but data deduplication saved a lot of space, around 30–40%. You will saw the real case scenario I'm using with mixed data. So they have documents, photos, Excel files, PowerPoints, stuff like that. If you are using data deduplication, for example, for your libraries, I don't know, for VHD libraries, you will get a great percent of deduplication. 80–90% of deduplication. And it's quite stupid to have VHD files on storage without deduplicating it, because you have the same data inside so many times. Okay, if I will not, I will put some things inside this folder, but you can also contact me via email, so I will try to answer your questions there. Okay, so new things that are coming here. NTFS versus resilient file system. I will show you some things around that. SMB 2.2 or going to SMB 3.0 in the final version of the server, and new features that are coming with SMB 3.0. Some features out of the box, the duplication SMAIS. For example, if you are using, anyone using Virtual Machine Manager 2012 Service Pack 1 already? Service Pack 1? Okay. Also, if you are not using with Service Pack 1, you can manage your storage directly from Virtual Machine Manager, and also these features are coming with Windows Server. So you will be able to control your storage and provision your storage without any additional, let's say, tools. But with Virtual Machine Manager, you can just provision everything. Okay, storage spaces and some other things that are coming with Windows Server. Okay, what is it all about, resilient file system? It is a robust new file system, but the main reason why they put it out is the problem with large volumes and NTFS. So you have now great numbers here, so you can have a lot of characters in file name. For example, this company I'm working for, they are always on the limit of those NTFS full path length. And the backup is not able to back up those files because they are putting metadata into file name, you know. And I think 32,000 characters will be enough even for them. So how many folders you can have on a volume, how many bytes file size limit is, and max size. Maximum size of the volume is even greater, but the operating system is not able to handle more than 2 on 64. Okay, another thing that is coming with resilient file system is solving data inconsistency on fly, so you don't have to wait for or do a check disk. You know, check disk on very large volumes would take year to come to finish. So they created a new way of doing it. So you have a lot of let's say features inside the resilient file system that is preventing damage to your data, or let's say loss of your data, and it is working on the fly, so without stopping anything. You have a lot of these features that are coming, like scrubbing in combination with storage spaces, checksum calculation of your data. So it's really difficult to have your volume corrupt or your data corrupt by using this. Say bye-bye to check disk with large volumes, it would take too much time. Okay, but not all things work with resilient file system. And for example, you are not able to have this quotas or encrypted file system on it. You can have BitLocker, but you cannot have encrypted file system. And also some other things like hard links. Are you using hard links? I have a bonus question without any presents. I can give you a water. Oh no, even water is empty bottles. I will have a question for you that you can make jokes tomorrow in your companies about hard links. Anyone using hard links? Are any guys that are using Linux? Ah yeah, this is a Microsoft conference, sorry. Nobody using hard links. Your operating system is using hard links a lot. Okay, you see the things that are supported on one and another, but in the next versions of Windows Server and the next upgrades to file system, they will try to put all these things that are missing also in resilient file system. So you can use it now, but with some limitations. Okay? Resilient file system is so cool that I'm calling it Chuck Norris file system, because if you try to do check disk, it has a really good answer. The resilient file system does not need to be checked. Chuck Norris file system. Okay, you have B+3 structure of data, 64-bit checksums along with write data update strategy for robust disk updates. Metadata represents various file attributes, so it's quite different from NTFS. Used space is organized in small, medium, and large chunks. You will see that resilient file system is, in fact, a basic for all other features that are coming with Windows Server. So it is a product that is here. It's as a basic for storage spaces, as a basic for deduplications, because deduplications is also using small, medium, and large chunks to store data. Okay, SMB 2.2 versus SMB 3.0. Does anyone know in Windows Server 2008 and Windows Vista, you know that strange product, they implemented SMB 2.0, and what was the main feature around that? Does anyone know? Cool feature. SMB 1.1 or 1.0 had very quick acknowledges when sending data, I think 1 megabyte. And with SMB 2.0, they have increased that to 16 megabytes. Every 16 megabytes of data, the acknowledge was sent. And it was really nice when you were using also on one side. So when you had file servers connected remotely. I have here a video I will show you later in demos where you can compare this to, for example, Windows XP talking to Windows Server 2008 and then Windows Vista or Windows 7 talking to Windows Server 2008 by using SMB 2.0. With Windows Server 2012, when in beta it was called SMB 2.2, but after that, because of great features that are coming here, they changed the version to 3.0. So in Windows Server 2012, you have SMB 3.0. Does anyone know what is a feature that is coming with Hyper-V and SMB 3.0? You can have virtual machines now on SMB 3.0 share. But I would like to warn you that it must be Windows Server 3.0 file share. You cannot put it on I don't know, on some Linux device with Samba 3, for example, because it is not yet implemented all the things. I think they will have these things implemented in the future. For example, if you will have, I don't know, a network attached storage, some kind of device there, but you should be, I should warn you that you cannot put virtual machines on any SMB share, but it should be SMB 3.0, and for now on Windows Server 2012 or Windows 8. You can also put on Windows 8 if you want. Okay, SMB for server applications. So as I said, now it's supported to have Microsoft SQL databases on share or Hyper-V virtual machines on share. Also Virtual Machine Manager 2012 Service Pack 1 will support that scenario. So you are able to deploy virtual machines on a share. Another thing that is coming with failover cluster, I will also show later in a demo, is active file sharing, SMB scale out. When you are creating a failover cluster for file sharing, you are able to choose classical file share or scale out file share. Scale out means that you are putting virtual machines on it or SQL databases. And another thing is important. This is active scenario. All nodes are providing resources. So you have, I don't know, 3 nodes connected to a single storage. They are providing scale out file share for applications. And when you put from one Hyper-V virtual machine on it, they will use DNS round robin to balance, but you will have only one naming. For example, / scale out file server, / VMs. And inside of those that share, you will have your virtual machines. I will show you later in the demo. I have this scenario ready for you. So you will be able to use it in active mode. And you will get a great throughput if you are using scale out file server. SMB direct, if you are using RDMA capable network cards, dramatically increase speed. You can also already buy 10 gigabit cards that support that. Oh, another great feature, SMB 3.0 multi-channel. You can now connect any machine, Windows 8 or Windows Server 2012, with 2 network cards without doing NIC teaming, and they will use, when accessing file shares, they will use multi-channel, so they will combine the speed of 2 network cards. Unfortunately, it does not work with LAN and wireless card. So it doesn't work that way. It works only with same kind of cards. For example, if you have 2 network cards inside your machine. But you can do it, for example, by connecting each of the cards on one switch, so you have additional redundancy and additional speed. Okay, transparent failover in failover clustering scenario, continuous availability. There is a new term, you know, high availability. What does it mean? High availability, for example, for virtual machines. But another thing that Microsoft did in failover cluster part is continuous availability during failover. So now when you are moving the file share between nodes, the connection to the clients is still online, but not for Windows XP. Okay. And another thing, you have volume shadow copy for SMB shares that is also supported with System Center Data Protection Manager 2012 Service Pack 1. So you can now, because Hyper-V is able to have machines on SMB, also Data Protection Manager is able to back up data that is on SMB shares. So continuous availability, because somebody was saying something before. In continuous availability, I will show you this. So when you are moving workload between nodes, nothing happens. Well, you have some I/O decrease, but SMB session is still persistently connected to your cluster. Okay, the problem in 2008 R2 and previous versions of Windows Server was that failovers are not transparent. So when you did a failover on Windows Server 2008 R2, I will also simulate this because you can disable this feature in Windows Server 2012 if you want to have the same feeling as in 2008 R2. So when you move the workload, the data stream was disconnected. So the clients that were connected to the share, if they were copying something, the copy was where the copying was cancelled, and you need to retry again. On 2012, you have SMB 3.0 transparent failover. The thing that you need is Windows Server 2012. Sorry, this is the old name. And in the cluster, you need to have Windows Server 2012. And also clients must be Windows 8 to do this. With XP, it doesn't work. I'm not sure, but I think it's not doing it. I will check it out for Windows 7. I don't know. So zero downtime, small I/O delay during failover. I will show you how it works. And active passive on single server or active passive multiple file servers, you were able to do some load balancing, but only in the way of doing multiple shares on your cluster, and then moving users to one or another file share or resource that you were publishing on the cluster. But with Windows Server 2012, you are able to do it this way. So you have active solution when you have only one name on multiple servers connected to the same storage. So for example, for virtual machines, this is great because it will work until the last server is online in the cluster. It will work. And more servers you are giving, better throughput you have. So single logical file server, few DNS names, IP addresses, no need for virtual IPs, single file system namespace, no drive letter limitation, large file systems. And another thing is it uses DNS round robin to load balance between nodes. Yes, if you are doing it if you're doing it this way, all nodes are presenting the same thing. And for example, Hyper-V will go to one or another, and even if I move the workload to another, you will see transparently without anything, without changing anything to virtual machine will work as nothing happened. I will show you how it works. Even if I move the storage, because one of the nodes is storage owner also, if you move also that one, machine is working without any interruption. I will show you by in the demo later. Here I have this cluster shared volumes are online on all cluster nodes, round robin DNS to distribute clients, and here you need to choose what kind of file server you will create so scale out file server, or you will create for general use like you were doing in previous versions. SMB1 and earlier clients cannot connect, so you need to have, but of course you will have Windows Server 2012 with Hyper-V 3.0 to put it on such kind of share, so it's not a problem, but earlier clients are not able to do that. Okay, another thing that I mentioned also before, you are able now to do volume shadow copy on shares, so if you are presenting a share for virtual machines or SQL, you are now able to do that, and also Data Protection Manager is able to do that. So VSS is now communicating with the location where the files are located, and it is able to send the information to the agent that was querying that data. Okay, the duplications. Service on top of the file system that searches for equal patterns of data and optimized storage space. I think how many of you use data deduplication on your storages? Oh, okay, all the others need to run it on Windows Server. Oh, okay, how many of you are coming from small and medium businesses? All the others large enterprise. Okay. For example, in Slovenia we have a lot of small business and medium business companies because we are a small country. And I think these solutions will be great because they're out of the box, are free. When you're buying a license, you have these features. And also cluster in a box solution, I think, is very, very good and very good price performance ratio for small and medium business companies. So we will see how it will go in next years. Okay, and storage spaces are out of the box solution for storage management inside Windows Server. It is a part of operating system, as I said before, not a role or feature, so you don't need to install anything. Data deduplication is part of file server role, so you need to install data deduplication. It is not there by default, but storage spaces are there. And it is a virtualization of your storage. You will see it's quite interesting how it works. Start positions for products that we will see in the future, cluster in a box. Storage spaces will be used in cluster in a box. You will see also in a demo of failover cluster. When you are presenting storage to your failover cluster, you can use classical way, presenting the disk that are attached to both clients, to both nodes, sorry, or you can present also storage space. But storage space must be seen by both nodes. And this is the case of cluster in a box solutions. So you have two nodes connected to the same storage and directly attached. And when you create a storage pool on one of two nodes, it's also presented on the other node. And you can present all that storage to a failover cluster. I will not be able to show you how it works because you cannot do it by using iSCSI. It should use some other connection to the storage. So directly attached storage or something like that. By iSCSI you cannot do that. But I will show you standalone storage spaces. Okay, the duplication goal is to store data in the way that consumes as little space as possible. Method by searching for a pattern, for the same patterns and store it only once. You have multiple ways of doing it. block-based, post-process, or transparent solutions. Microsoft already had some of those in the prehistoric times. For example, drive space in MS-DOS. You remember that terrible thing? I was using, and I completely, I lost all files of my father who had something on, I just need some more space for my games in 90s, and drive space was really terrible thing. And another thing, kind of deduplication, was used also in Exchange Server until Exchange 2007. It's a single instance in a database, so the same data was stored only once in a database. Okay, they moved away from that one in 2007, ServicePack 2, I think, because of the different topology of databases. Okay, how can we do deduplication? Well, we can do it by comparing the source. We transfer only content that is missing on remote location. For example, remote differential compression does that. Inline duplication on write. For example, compression on NTFS volumes, but it makes an impact on write speed because it needs to compress it on the fly. Or post-process deduplication. It is done on enterprise storages, on most of the enterprise storages, and also Windows Server 2012 model is using that. So deduplication is not running all the time, but is running when in background when the disks are idle, or when you say from, let's say, 8 in the afternoon till midnight, use high performance deduplication. I will show you how you configure that. For example, NTFS file compression is inline deduplication, if you want to call it like that, but it's CPU intensive. NTFS hard links, non-transparent, file-based, not block-based. So I was asking you before how many of you is using hard links. All of you are using hard links. Well, Windows are using hard links. And just for a joke, I will ask you, where is Notepad located? In this directory? Yes. No, it's not. In fact, it is a hard link that is in completely different directory, in fact. Here it is a Notepad. You can make this joke to your colleagues at your job. Where is Notepad? Tomorrow in the morning you say, where is Notepad? And they will say, C, Windows, System32, Notepad.exe. But in fact it is pointing to something else. Windows are using, nobody had an innovative user that found this directory and said, oh my god, I found a big directory and I deleted everything. You have no innovative Slovakian super duper users that do that. I have one user that did that. And Windows is now saying that he will repair something. Okay. Because if you delete the source, even the hard link is not working anymore. You can do also hard links if you want. Util. You can make a joke with that one, because somebody will delete only a hard link, but the source will stay with all the data inside. You can make, for example, 2 copies of documents. You can create on your file system. You can try to do that. It's really simple, and you can do that. For those guys who are coming from open source, also in Linux you have lien, I think it is a command to do that. So also in Windows, and Windows is basing on hard links. A lot of hard links in Windows. Also because of this, when you are installing a role in Windows Server, it is installed really quickly, because there are also a lot of hard links, so nothing else, no new files are copied there, but only hard linking to some previously existing files. I think you have this. You have here the command line to show your colleagues tomorrow. So more files points to the same source. Management, you have this mklink/h, or you can use fsutil to do that. Mass usage in MS Windows. Okay, what about deduplication in Windows Server? File system filter. Deduplication has a file system filter that manages files and chunk storage. So you have chunks of small, medium, and large chunks, and they are deduplicated in chunk store that is in system volume information folder. Dedup service is service that does deduplication in the background. You can make a high performance deduplications. You can force it, but not using GUI. You need to PowerShell. You need PowerShell to force the deduplication when you want. For example, in my demo, I will force it directly. Or you can leave it so service will do it when the system is idle, for example, or you can define the time slot when it will do a high performance deduplication with all memory available and not CPU available. So it is searching for the same pieces of information, and it is storing only once, and only the differences are stored in a different. Well, it stores the same information only once. So it's storing these chunks in a chunk store. As I said, system volume information folder. There everything is stored. That duplication filter allows application and operating system to access the correct content. You will say how much impact, performance impact you have here. Microsoft has calculated that around 3%. But with storage that we have today, with speeds that we have today, I think the 3% is not that bad. File size does not change. When you are looking right-click and properties on the file size, you will see that the file size didn't change, but change that is visible is size on disk, and you will see that it's only 4 kilobytes. And if you change something, the file is inflated again, and after the duplication process, when the duplication process will touch this file again, it will be reduced to 4 kilobytes again. Deduplication works on whole disk or partition. You cannot deduplicate only one folder. You are enabling this on a volume. It also works on removable disks. I warn you, if you have your USB disk and you turn the duplication on it and you deduplicate it and you bring it home and connect it to Windows 7 machine, Windows 7 machine will be unable to read what is there. So you need to consider that. Another thing that you cannot do is deduplicating system disk, system disk, and nothing else. So you are not able to deduplicate system disk because deduplication service and filter is coming up after the boot of the operating system. Chunk size is between 32 and 128 kilobytes, average about 80 kilobytes, and information is additional compressed in chunk store, except those exceptions. For example, previously compressed data is excluded. Things that are already compressed are not compressed again. Ignores files smaller than 64 kilobytes. Deduplication by default works on the files older than 5 days. This is by default, but you can put a 0 there and it will deduplicate every night. Deduplication does not work on NTFS encrypted drives, but it works with BitLocker. What about savings? Microsoft reports that mixed data you can have 50 to 60% savings, documents 30 to 50%, libraries 70-80%, and VHD libraries are really big savings, 80 to 90%. And it is really like that. For example, if you put two ISO images, if you put Windows 7 and Windows Vista ISO image and you make a deduplication, you have 80% savings. Even though there is some there is different code, but I think that most parts are the same. Performance impact on write operation, there is no impact because deduplication is post-write process. Read is slower up to 3%. More head moving, you can compare this with defragmentation. well, with fragmentation, in fact. And Windows caching is deduplication aware. How reliable is to have deduplication turned on? All data is checksummed, operations are crash consistent, and another things with deduplication. Here is written IO hotspot elimination. You know what is that? If you have a part of a disk, for example, if you have a library, VHD library with a lot of Windows Server VHDs, you will have a big part of VHD that is deduplicated. And if this part is accessed more than 100 times, deduplication will make additional copy of it. Because if we are always accessing data on the same part of disk, we are risking that part of disk will become unreadable and we will lose everything. So we are eliminating this so-called IE hotspot by detecting which data is accessed more than 100 times. So you don't have to think about that and have problems with that. System will do it by itself. Okay, how you do that? Start minus dedup job minus volume. You tell on which volume and type optimization. You can also have some additional switches. Minus memory, 100, minus priority high, and it will use all resources if you want to have a deduplication running really fast. Get help, deduplication to get all the commands, and you have also this command line, but I don't think you will use that because you have PowerShell. Okay, and storage spaces, this can be joined in the pools. In the pools you can, when the pool is created from all the storage you have in your server, for example, directly attached storage, iSCSI drives, USB keys, whatever you have, you can plug into and create a big pool out of that. And then you create a disks where you can define type of protection of these new volumes that you are creating. So simple, data is located on everywhere, but there is no redundancy, so if something failed, you will lose the volume. Mirrored, two-way or three-way mirrored, it works like that, so if you put it in two-way mirror, data will be stored on at least 2 different drives in your server. If you create a three-way mirror, it will be saved on 3 drives in your system. And you have parity, where the data and parity is equally dispersed around the pool. This is cluster in a box solution that I was talking about before. For example, this is one of the vendors that is doing it. So you have 2 servers inside and 2 power supplies and a storage. And this is the way it works. So you have these drives that you are using by using storage pools. So you are taking all these drives in a storage pool, and both nodes can present that storage pool to failover cluster. And on this failover cluster you can run, for example, virtual machines or some other workloads, whatever you want. Also other vendors are having that, and you see that you have file server, Hyper-V, SMB multi-channel, and all the features you can run on it in the same way. So you can have multiple servers on top of it, and you have some shared SAS or SATA, some kind of connection to your storage. Oh, this is the last slide, super. Okay, now we will go to the demos, and you must remind me if I will forget to show you something. And I would like to have these demos now more interactive, so if you have some questions, let's go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, the silent file system. Mm-hmm. Well, the silent file system is completely redesigned file system, but you cannot use, as I showed you before, you cannot use it for every kind of workload. But I think they will move forward on that, and they created this file system just because we have now large disk and we need more and more storage. I didn't test it with a lot of disks for now, but I think they improved the performance on any kind of disk. So you have much better performance than before. My colleague is using it because he is not having any RAID controller in a server, and he used storage pools and created a silent file system on it, and he said that it's really working really good. But I don't know, you know, it depends on from case to case. I think so. I think that it, well, in the documentation, only zip files are exposed, are the files that are that it does not additionally compress. But I can check for JPEG and MPEG. I can check that. Wait, I will just write down. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course it is waiting for the slowest because you don't know where the first data will be. Yeah. No, it's regular, but well, marketing says connect anything, but you are not connecting to, I don't know, to SAS disks, one USB key. I don't think so, but because you are waiting for that USB key then. Okay, let's see how it works. The first thing I was mentioning was SMB 3.0. I show you the hard links, so the trick that you are doing. Okay, let's take a look at SMB 3.0. I have two machines connected with two network cards. They are virtualized and they have two network cards. I will enable bandwidth management and I will do 10 megabits and 10 megabits. So the maximum speed of this copying will be 20 megabits. I will do also this on the other machine. And we will see how multi-channel works. Okay, so when I'm going to the machine number 1, I'm accessing the share on the other machine, and I will try to copy something big, and then we will disable one of the network cards. So if I'm going to copy this, okay, and now we will disable one of the network cards here. This is the transparent continuously available share. It works also on SMB 3.0. You see I will not get the pop-up, I don't know what was, the share is not available or something like that, but it will resume, immediately resume. Okay, maybe, and it will resume with the speed of one network card. Just a second, let the machine get into it. It should not do it like that, but okay, it's a virtual machine, and they have a lot of virtual machines here, but okay. This is not good. Just a second. I will try, if not on this one, I will try on the other side to disable one of the cards. It should not do it like that. And also quality of service is not doing it right. We can try on another one. Well, in fact, you can see the things that I told you. So you have a combination of speed and if you are disabling, you are not getting any, you are not losing your connection, but the SMB traffic is stopping, but the machine will wait and resume after the connection is re-established. And the same thing happens with failover cluster. We need to wait for 10 seconds or something. Maybe I was lowering it down just too much on the quality of service. Maybe I can increase that to 50 megabits. It will work. I don't know why I choose 10 megabits this time. This is better. So you don't need to configure any NIC teaming for that. You just need two network cards connected to your network. Okay, you see that it is working with half speed. Okay? QoS is not working that good when you are. And you will see now he will detect another path and it will increase the speed. It will take 10 seconds. You see? So it works out of the box. All you need is to connect with multiple cables to your switch. Your machines with multiple cables to your switch. That's all. Okay? No? Anything. You don't need anything for that. It will work out of the box. Okay, for those who are not familiar with it, how many of you use NIC teaming in your environment? Okay, how are you doing that? By using third-party tools that came with the server. Now in Windows Server you have NIC teaming out of the box. You saw that? And you have three ways of doing NIC teaming. You can do also NIC teaming in virtual machine, like I will do now. It is not in any way connected to SMB 3.0, but it has some similarity with SMB 3.0 when we are talking about multi-channel. You can create a new team. On my servers, I'm not using other tools anymore. I'm using this tool. I'm not using, for example, I have HP servers. I don't use that NIC teaming tool that they have. I'm using this one because I want on my servers as less as possible third-party tools. We will say team 01. I will put inside those two network cards. I have only two. And the interesting thing is you can have three types of teaming mode. Oh my God, I cannot show you in virtualized environment. You have only one. In virtualized environment, you have only switch independent mode. In real case, but I can show you which server is that. Okay. I don't think this one has, okay. I hope I will not crash my production now, but you know, I need to show you. I believe in technology. So static teaming, you need to configure on a switch. LACP, you need to configure on a switch. Or if you have stupid switches, you can use switch independent. So it will not care about the switch. You don't have to configure anything, and it will work. And you can have also load balancing mode that you can configure here. And also you can have standby adapters that are waiting for some of the adapters to fail. So I'm using this tool now when I'm creating teaming on my server. And it also supports VLAN and everything, so you don't have any problem with that. You can do that, as I said, also on virtual machines, but you should not team already teamed adapters. It is not supported by Microsoft. It works, but it's not supported. So teams of teams are not supported. But you can do this inside your virtual machine, and when I click OK, it will create one network adapter, a new one that is combined with those two. And now if I try to copy from the other machine, it will work like SMB30 multi-channel, because it is switch independent, so no other configuration is required, and everything will work correctly. Okay, this is just an additional thing that I wanted to show you, because it is a part of operating system, and I think it's cool that you know about that. Yes, of course. And you can use this theming also by using different types of network cards. So if you have, I don't know, a quad card from, I don't know, Intel, and another 4 cards from Broadcom, you can theme all together without any problem. It is supported to do that. You can use that. Okay, as I said before, storage pools are located already when you install the server that is clean without any roles and features. Storage pools are already here. But everything is empty. Why is empty? Because I have only one physical disk on this server. And it is not, storage pools are not showing the system disk, because storage pool cannot be created on a system disk. You need additional disk for that. So I will put some additional disk on this server. Different sizes, I will create different sizes, so you will be able to see how it works. Okay, 127, finish. I will create another one. From, I don't know, 300 gigabytes. And I will create another one. Of 60. And I will click apply, and those disks are now presented directly to this machine. How the machine sees the disk? You remember this old tool called computer management? You are not using this tool anymore. You have now those disks here. Now it is the interesting part. Look what system storage pools does to these disks. I'm seeing those disks in computer management, and I'm also seeing these disks here now, but I need to refresh the view. Okay, what is primordial storage space? It is the storage space that is created when at least one disk is able to create storage pool. But it is a system storage pool that cannot be used. And it will disappear when we are using all disks in a storage pool. Okay, the interface is quite confusing, so take a look now. So we have physical disks here. I will try to... You see the capacity, okay? We'll go to tasks and create new storage pool. Next, and we say test storage pool. From which group we will take disks from primordial, of course. Which disk we will take? We will take all these disks, and what kind of allocation, like a hot spare, you can also allocate a disk as a hot spare here. And you have the total capacity down here. Look at the total capacity, it's very important, because you can thin provision. You will see it is just like in big storage controllers allow you. So you have 487 gigabytes of space. Next, you click create. Okay, we have now storage pool with these three disks. And you see the no primordial disk space storage pool is available anymore. Okay, we create a virtual disk. Next, we say on which storage pool you will create a virtual disk. And by the way, look at this. There are no disks here anymore. You see? It has took that disks and virtualized them, so even computer management doesn't see that storage pool anymore. Because this tool was, when everything was failing, you went to this pool and somehow managed to do something. While using storage pool, this interface is completely useless. Okay, we said that we will use this storage pool. Click next. Say disk 1. What kind of protection do we want? Simple. If we click simple, it will only ask me what kind of provisioning type I will use. If I click mirror, I click next. I decide also what kind of provisioning type, and then it will ask me also if it will be two-way or three-way mirror. I will create a simple one. And you have also parity, when the data and parity is stripped around the storage pool. Simple. I will say thin provisioning. This is, in time of crisis, a really good thing. You can thin provision even with 1 terabyte, 63 terabytes. Okay, and what we have now? When we created this, the disk computer management becomes useful again. You have now here a great big disk that you can format. But we will not use this tool. We will use now we go to the disk part, and we can create new volume on this disk. We say size 5 gigabytes, because I will need that for storage, for data deduplication. NTFS, okay. Do we want to enable? I will not enable it now. Create. It's kind of crazy. I will just tell you this one. I will not show you. You know, in Windows Server, you can create a VHD that you can attach to the server. Well, you can do that and show a server that disk as an additional disk for a storage pool, but don't do that. This is only when you want to crash your company completely. Okay, so we now have also volume. One small volume, 5 gigabytes, and we will create another one. $50 terabytes, F, and I will format this as resilient file system and confirm. Okay, we have now 2 disks. For the first time when you are using this, it's quite confusing, because first you need to go to storage pools, see the disk, create a storage pool, create a virtual disk, then go to disks, create volumes, and then you go to the volumes and you see the volumes that are created. It's quite confusing, but when you are using for 75 times, it becomes really intuitive. Okay? So you have, watch out, thin provisioned. Watch out with thin provisioning. This flag will become red when you are over provisioning something that you don't have. So I suggest you to really be careful with thin provisioning. Okay, volume E, configure data deduplication. Enable data deduplication. This is all you need to do. And you say how old the files must be to be deduplicated. And I will say 0 days to show you how it works. If not, you can leave a 5 days or something like that. Which extensions you want to exclude? If you want some extensions to be excluded, I don't know why, you can do that. And you can also select folders that you don't want to be deduplicated. It will do it in the background. So when it will run a low priority and pause when high performance is needed. Or you can also enable throughput optimization, and you have two time slots you can create. For example, I don't know, from 8 in the I don't know, from 5 in the afternoon to midnight. From midnight to 2 you have backup, stop. and from 2 to 7 o'clock you can create a second schedule for that. I will do just background optimization for now, okay? And I will click OK. You see that I have here a new parameters, the duplication rate and the duplication savings now, and how many % of the drive disk space is used. Okay, I will show you a little bit later how you can do that. How we will force the deduplication of some data. Okay, we go to my computer on drive F and click properties. This is resilient file system, and Chuck Norris pops up. Okay, no checking of this drive. So you see that you have less parameters here. We can also see it by comparing these two. So I think you can start to use that, but new and new features will come in the future. Okay, I will attach not install but boot. It is quite small because the duplication will take some time if I'm putting big files. Not on F. Resilient file system cannot be deduplicated, only on NTFS it works. Okay. Okay, remember size of disk. 128 megabytes, okay. Let's do the deduplication. We start the mighty PowerShell. I need to take a look because I don't remember exactly. Start. Minus optimization minus memory 100 minus priority. I will show you also the performance monitor. Priority high, sorry. Okay, get minus dedup job. Look at the CPU in the background. It is cute. It's running now. You see the CPU went crazy, but because I forced it. Priority high, memory 100. And it is done. If we can, you see that when I do get dedup job, there is no result. And let's see how it did the job. Volumes. I need to refresh this view. It's because it's showing the old view. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look at files. Size on disk 4 kilo. Dobro, ne? Okay, I will show you in production how it works. This is the real thing. They're using really 1 terabyte they have, free space 500 gigabytes, 370 gigabytes of safe space. If we are not using, we have just bought this server, you know, And I said, okay, 1 terabyte will be enough for you. And they said, yes, I think so. We think so. We have only 500 gigabytes of space, but they already are using 800 gigabytes. So 80% of this storage is already used. And I just enable it, and if you take a look at one of, oh my God, you see the 32,000 characters. They need that feature. You see 4 kilobytes again. Okay? And I have configured the data deduplication on this. I think it's doing it every night, hardcore, every night. We are deduplicating every night. I have said start at 6 in the afternoon, and for 12 hours you are doing that. It's a cool feature. You should try it out. And you can also get the deduplication status in PowerShell if you want to be more geeky, or you can do it in PowerShell, and you have all this additional information also about the duplication. Okay? Any questions? Okay. Let's go to other scenario that we have here. Failover cluster feature. So you see that I have created two types of failover clusters: scale out file server and classical file server. That is showing, that is presenting some shares. For example, this is presenting a share called stuff, and you have here continuous availability. If you have this parameter when you are making a failover, it will be transparent for users. If you don't have this parameter, it will work like Windows Server 2008 R2. So it will disconnect the users when the failover will be there. And the other thing is scale out file server. This one is also presenting a share where I have virtual machines, and this is also continuously available. But in fact, when you are changing the workload from one node to another, is completely transparent because all nodes are active. So it really doesn't matter where is the workload. It doesn't matter. It will be available all the time until the last node is available. And another thing that I need to show you, you see here, you have disk and you have pools. You will see pools when you have nodes directly connected to the storage. So if you have two nodes directly connected to the storage, you will see a pool, and you can use that pool as a storage for your cluster. In a cluster in a box scenario, this will be the case. Okay? Okay, how it works, let's take a look at okay, this will be quite difficult to show because of small resolution, but I will do it. So first of all, if you didn't saw, you can now have virtual machine on a share. You see here, my virtual machine with virtual disk is located on ShowIT scale out file server VM, okay, on a share. It's a Windows XP to somebody is watching television on virtual machine. I will do a failover now while I will copy some files, a big install Vim. You see it is moving without an interruption here. And I also can move storage. I will show you now. I will move storage, owner, for virtual machine it's completely transparent. Okay, I'm sorry because in Windows XP you cannot see the graphical view of how it is writing file because there is some I/O problem there. It is going slow and then fast again, but it's for a second or something. But I will show you while doing it in another way. Okay, this is scale out file server, and now I will show you also with just let me see how can I show that. Okay, I can do it also by using this server here. Let me check. Okay, super. I have an ISO image. Let me see the file share. Okay, this is a classical file share, and I will copy a file on this file share. I hope it will not be too quick. And now I'm moving to best possible node. But I will not get disconnected. You see pending, status pending. Now it will transfer to another node, to the other node in my failover cluster, and it will resume. Okay? I think these are great features that are coming with Windows Server. So remember, data deduplication, storage pools, and failover cluster with continuously available shares. This allows you, only because of this you can have virtual machines on a share, because of continuously available shares. Because I don't know if you ever tried to disconnect a storage from your Hyper-V. You know, it's a big pain if you do that. Any questions? Do you find this a cool technology? You will use that? It enables you, even though if you don't have, I don't know, enterprise storage in your company, you can now do almost all enterprise level stuff in your company. I think it is great. Anything else? Yep. Yeah, of course. Yes, because when you are changing the file, it immediately inflates again. You will see the size on disk as the real file size, and it knows which files are marked to be deduplicated again. So it's very quick when you are, for example, this big data which I had in this company. First time it took, I don't know, 1 day or 2 days, I don't know. But after that it is doing it, I don't know, in 1 hour or something. Yes, but it's already in system volume information. But I think it's quite a small reservation for that. I think it works something like that. If you have more than that amount of changes or something like that. But it's quite quick now. Even though there is a big disk, it's doing it really fast. Something else? Okay, if no other questions are there, yeah. Yes, you can choose, of course. If, for example, if you have 2 nodes and you will have a pool presented, you will use the pool, but you can also have some iSCSI stuff connected to those nodes and you will use it as disks. Pool, you can choose when you will use pool or not. You know, you can choose. Well, he will see the disks, and you can use pool at that case. But you can also connect some other things, and use that other storage for other things. This case is like that. I have one virtual machine with iSCSI target, and both nodes are seeing that iSCSI target, but it is a shared storage. Okay, I will be here for another couple of minutes. If you have some additional questions, or you would like to test these labs that I created, I can give you my playground in Slovenia. You can remote on it and try if you don't want to mess with your environment. And I say thank you, and I hope to see you next year. Thank you very much.